out fun. It is the first day of 2025 NRB here on the convention floor, and I get a chance to meet all sorts of new friends, and I get to meet all sorts of old friends, but every once in a while I get to meet an old friend that I never met. And today's one of those days. It's Todd Nettleton, the voice of the martyrs. For those of you on the Truth Network, I know you've heard Todd many, many, many times, and I've interviewed him many, many, many times. I just everybody there. So, welcome to Truth Talk Live, Todd. It's great to see you. It's nice to meet you. And Voice of the Martyrs is like what a connection to what God's doing through His church here, and you got all sorts of old stories, but you got some new ones too.
Unfortunately, what do you? Unfortunately, we always have to how persecution is happening. The good news is God is faithful. His people are still being faithful. The church is still growing.
And so I imagine all our listeners may have a similar question. What I'm going to ask you is, how does Voice of the Martyrs find the martyr?
Thankfully, I don't do that. They don't come on me for that. But part of the great thing about Voice of the Martyrs is 50 plus years of ministry in restricted nations with this world is building up the connections with the church, the missionaries, the pastors, and others in these countries, so that when somebody in the village of India is attacked and beaten up, and they go to the hospital, their pastor gets involved, and their pastor's leader gets involved, and then the ER gets involved. Because we have a control over that country. We need all those connections and those are those people, and has drank countless cups of tea and built those relationships so that we can hear, yes, this just happened, this house was just burned down, this church was just attacked, and our leadership is saying, like, what help has already been given? How do you need us to help right now? After everyone else is gone home, we still want to be there and so that's the great blessing is to sort of be one public face for all that sort of behind the scenes work that has gone on for years.
Right, and it's fascinating in and of itself. You think of the church, so not just to submerge, but God built an amazing house for the Voice of the Martyrs. So what you're talking about is team leaders, different all sorts of people, but it's no small organization. Like God has built a house with Voice of the Martyrs.
One of the really interesting things about Voice of the Martyrs is we are serving persecuted Christians in more than 70 countries around the world. But our founders, Pastor Richard Gorgrand and his wife Sabina, were persecuted Christians. He was in jail for 14 years. She was in jail for 3 years. And it was about Germany. So when they came out and started telling their stories, they knew what those imprisoned pastors did. They fed them. They fed in the prison cells. And so they could, in a very knowledgeable way, say, okay, here's how it works, here's how it feels. And so that is part of our DNA. Even all these years later, Pastor Richard and Sabina have gone on to heaven, but we are still standing on our shoulders. That experience of they were there, so they knew God's word and knew God of help.
So I think a lot of this that God allowed such a horrible thing in Romania that He did, that these people would be imprisoned for their faith and godly tortured and all sorts of horrible things. However, little did he know the voice that he was releasing on the world would become this huge house that God built by His Voice of the Martyrs. Essentially through 1 Corinthians chapter 2 Corinthians chapter 1, right? God comforted them so they could comfort others.
one of the funny things about persecution is Satan is so confused. like he thinks, oh, if we close down the churches, well, that'll stop the gospel. Oh, if we lock all the pastors in prison, that'll shut them down. No, that's not. It doesn't work. It's never worked since the time that Christ was here. It has never worked, and yet he keeps going back to that same playbook. And so, the great thing for us at Christian Partners and for God's people around the world is we can celebrate even in times of suffering because we know the end of the story. We know this is not going to work. Even though our brothers and sisters, they are suffering, they are coming through challenging things, but we know the end of the story. And so I'm glad Satan is confused.
Yeah, me too. I'm so thankful for the faith, right? Of people like your friend who all stand on their shoulders. Because even today, it's ramping up.
It is. You see around the world, but even in our own country, we see the cultural winds are certainly not blowing in our favor as followers of Jesus Christ and biblical disciples. And so we have to learn. And one of the things people often ask me, when is this going to start in America? When is the first pastor going to come to here? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a future seer. I don't know. But I know we need to be ready. And our children, and our grandchildren, now I'm a grandpa, our grandchildren really need to be ready. Because whether it happens tomorrow or it happens years from now, if we're ready, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when it starts, if we're already prepared. And so one of the things I encourage people is, obviously, how do you get ready? Well, number one is the scripture. The scriptures talk a lot about persecution. The New Testament doesn't pull any punches about how there's going to be suffering when you follow Jesus. But the other thing is to learn from the stories. The illustration I like is, hey, if I'm playing the Chiefs on Sunday, I'm going to go back and watch the film of the last team to beat the Chiefs. And I'm going to look at what plays did they run and how did they do it. Well, we have the film of people who have been victorious in the face of persecution. We have those stories. We can't stand it. We can say, hey, I'm going to run that play. I'm going to do that too.
It's a beautiful thing. That again, you guys are keeping the video, right? Or however you want to say, and putting people in touch with it as you see. Okay, this is kind of what we've experienced in the Muslim world, or this is kind of the experience we've had in the Hindu world, and all those. Even the communist world, obviously, is where it started in so many different ways. So, how about in communist Russia right now? Are you seeing stuff resurface?
Particularly in parts of Ukraine that are controlled by Russia, we're seeing church buildings being confiscated. In some cases, pastors being threatened. There is a law that was passed several years ago in Russia. I'm saying that somewhat close to right, but it outlaws missionary activity. And one of the things that if you take the very Christians, we go to radical Islamists. They're cut from the same cloth, and we got to watch out for them, and we got to pressure them for not letting them in. And we haven't seen a lot of times where that law has really been enforced against the church. Like, it's not like they're locking up because of the pastors. But the fact that the laws on the sex, at any point they could start, right? Like they could wake up tomorrow and say, hey, we got this law, let's start enforcing. So it is a concern how the followers of Christ are treated.
Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time left, but I know you're here at the NRB to kind of let our listeners and folks know about what message do you have for our listeners?
I think that the most important thing that you can take away from this conversation is to pray for Christians. That's the number one thing they ask us is to pray for. And they're not saying pray that we will be persecuted. They're saying pray that we will be faithful to Christ even while we're persecuted, even in spite of suffering. So the thing I always challenge people is number one, commit to prayer. Then number two is educate yourself so that you can pray better. And Voice of the Martyrs, we have lots of tools to help you do that. We have a global prayer guide that we'll send to you. We have an app you can put on your phone that has a prayer request every day. Lots of material for this. So number one, pray. Number two, educate yourself so that you can pray more effectively. And I always tell people number three is, as you're praying, as you're learning more, God's going to put his thumb on somebody and say, hey, I want you to do this. And maybe this is write letters to Christians who are in prison. Maybe this is sponsor some Bibles to be delivered into one's arms. Maybe this is get on an airplane and go to one of these places. But as you're praying, as you're learning more, God's going to say, okay, now the next step for you, and it's going to be different for everyone, but the next step for you is this, and then you have to choose to do it.
Yes, as Todd got called to Voice of the Martyrs. And so, wow, thank you, Todd. Thank you for Voice of the Martyrs. And the website for Voice of the Martyrs is
persecution.com. It's not a hard one to remember. Persecution.com.
all right. Thanks, Todd. God bless you.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yes. Great
All right.
job.
Thank you very much. It's good to meet you in person.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next one.
Yes, sir.
Have a great day. It's good to meet you.
I met you through the Council for National Policy and saw him there at every meeting, and we always sat down and chatted. He always said that he enjoyed seeing me because he could look me right in the eye.
There you go. Great Tommy.
We had a great time. He had a great sense of humor.
You want it, Paul?
No, I'm just.
Hi there.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. Your name is Ralph.
My name is Ralph.
August.
Oxtrose.
Oxford.
Oxtrose.
I like it.
It's easier than it looks.
You got a card roll?
I sure do. Somewhere. Sounds right.
You all said as far as everything else.
Yeah, after that 4 o'clock interview is done, I think we're going to head up there. And we'll see you up there, and then we'll be there for about a half hour or so. Thanks for escorting me. A pleasure. And I have to apologize a little bit. I'm getting over what was laryngitis a while ago, and now I'm still a few of the after effects.
There you go. You probably can hear me. I hear you. You got a great voice.
It's not actually my real place here.
Right.
Yeah, it's a little beat up. So got really the next few days over that.
All right. Are you guys ready? Well, here we are, 2025 NRB. Opportunity after opportunity to see what God is doing through the national religious broadcasters and news folks all the time. Here's a new one today. We have Ralph Oxford. And he is with Heroic. And I hear that song. We need a hero. And we do. We have one. We have Amazing Hero. And so, if you're, I wish you could see this part. Some of you can on YouTube, etc. Is Samson? It looks like he's pushing on some pillars. And so, Heroic Pictures. What is that about?
Heroic Pictures is a non-profit group studio that friends with colleagues all better filmmakers for in order to produce motion pictures, major motion pictures, real heroes. Probably not the kind of heroes that our culture convinces heroes, but real heroes. We think better than it's so largely because of their faith. accomplished miraculous things that far exceeded their own expectations. That's what world picture.
So how cool. We're talking about real here.
Real.
Stories.
Air.
This is novels or something like this. This is people that actually they did it, and so wow, what a beautiful. Again, you're going to, according to the book of Acts, you're going to receive power from God. Right. And you are counting on it. And so I'm curious. What have you done so far? What are your plans?
This is a new studio. All three of us individually and 20 feature films today.
Such as, just for...
Well, Tim Mahoney, who's one of our three consultants, he was producer and director of Patterns of Evidence.
Right. There's one with those. Right.
Very you continue to do so all of that. Beth Maddox, who's our second person, he's been involved in a lot of family style movies that have been very streaming services.
I love those movies.
He also did Josh McDowell's films.
Oh, cool.
My first movie 2 years ago called Against the Tide, which was an apologetics for theaters around the world, which was started and John Lennox, that movie was at university. And it sort of picked up some of the arguments that were made against the dead, and actually went into depth discussing them between Kevin, Professor Epps, and John Lennox, whose arguments were used by the student in their in-class debate. So this was sort of a documentary version of that. I produced that movie 3 years ago, and the three of us finally got together 3 years ago. So, we really looked at these movies that will inspire a new generation to do things differently.
And so, have you started your first one?
Not only we started it, we completed it.
Okay.
We produced a movie called The American Miracle, based on Michael Medved's best-selling book, Michael wrote covers all of the countless miracles throughout American history that should have been doomed to disaster, or doomed to disaster, and miraculously became huge successes. We have the rights of both of Michael's books, The American Miracle and The Secret of the Gods of America. And out of the first book, we deal with the theory of differentiating the world up to 1846, 50th anniversary of the United States. And John Adams and Thomas Jefferson died on the same day, on the 4th of July, 1826, on the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, which were about so that's just one of the stories that we have. But it's a very large movie with a large cast.
And so obviously, there's George Washington's stories, the Delaware, etc.
I would say he is the main hero of the American, because the story is surrounding his survival. I mean, he should have died in battle, smallpox, and just all kinds of things. And miraculously, Joseph Ellis, the Bishop of the story says, the man was immune to everything.
And most historians like just the legends. It's like it brings glory to God, because there's no other way in the world, right?
Indeed.
It's so many of those battles.
Indeed.
It's absolutely a beautiful thing. And so when you were studying it and finding out about it, Ralph, what did you learn that you went, man, I didn't know that?
I have to admit, there wasn't too much that I wasn't aware of, because previously I had a non-profit organization called the Providence Foundation. And at the Providence Forum, when I was leading it, we founded a publishing company. We published a book by Peter Ray called George Washington's Sacred Fire. which in 2007 became a #1 national bestseller because Glenn Beck and some other television personalities came out about it. The next thing we knew, that's all we were talking about. So, through the process of publishing Sacred Fire, which is about a 1,000-page book, I learned a lot of things about production that then I can say I didn't know before. Well, this was an opportunity to find stories and put them on social
Down
media.
here, they have Utah,
Right. And
that's
so
older than Dayton, Ohio.
that movie is always
Up in Mobile, we just
There's more down here in Hawaii.
Savannah soundtrack.
They were also Roanoke, Lynchburg.
90 minutes of music. And it will be released on June 9th. It will be in over 1,000 theaters across the country through May. And because we're a nonprofit organization, we're really hoping that as many people as possible can see it in the theater because then the distributor will extend it. And we'd love to extend it to the worldwide. And not because we want to personally make money out of it, because it's a nonprofit, that's not how it works. But we want the revenue so we can create some more business.
and the opportunity.
And see you. We'll see, I need to look at my
Wonderful Christian movie opportunity. I don't know if you know Rich Christian. Oh, no.
you know.
He did Secrets of Jonathan Sperry. Came out with it, and he helped. We got some radio stations together, like our network, to try that. And we got that in the theaters, I think in September, and we kept it. God kept it in the theaters through Thanksgiving in our area. It's, one person got to see it, another person got to see it, and then they went and told their neighbor, then they brought their friend, a non-Christian friend. And that's the kind of thing we're talking about for this movie. Like, I don't think a lot of folks don't realize when they go to a movie, I'm opening and what it does and what it speaks to, like you said, contribution and all that. But again, God gave you guys the vision to do it. God provided unbelievable resources. It is not inexpensive to put together.
No, it is not. It is expensive. It's like steering a ship that's filled with people who can rip. With all sorts of encounters and experiences, etc. And all sorts of things along the way. But it is a movie that doesn't have a cold story, it doesn't forgotten story. Because there was a time when God's providence or George Washington's providence was taught in school.
videoing.
This is
You
not
could get you go around.
the founders themselves wrote about it. Washington was very exuberant about what he thought. We're simply telling people forgotten stories so that people realize that as a subtitle of our movie, our nation is no accident. And if it's no accident, then that means that there's a purpose and a meaning to it. You know, there was a piece of written word to keep
What's that right on the title right here?
the American miracle for nations.
The American Miracle. It is coming out July, June 9th. Oh, yeah, that's right, by the 5th. That's 5 weeks. So June 9th, the American Miracle. And I don't know if you know about this. I think it's a beautiful thing that you might remember anything in the Exodus. That the reputation of the Jewish people was such that their enemies knew they could mess with these people. They're messing with God. Don't think for 1 minute the British did not understand that after they saw what George Washington was his prayers did, whatever, they realized that they were the strongest nation on earth. They should have been able to squash us like a grape.
That's right. And we were a ragtag bunch of non-professional soldiers, butchers and bakers, farmers and kids. I mean, there were a lot of early Jews that many of them were shoes. They were trails of blood in the snow marching to the skirmish. I mean, what would it take today to motivate our nation to that type of selfless service towards accomplishing? I can't imagine it.
Hopefully it's worth coming. And so many different ways. Like Ralph and his company, Heroic Pictures, obviously died to themselves a great deal. American Hero coming again, June 9th. Thank you so much, Ralph.
Thank you so much for having me.
How awesome. I was like, wow, I have to hear about this.
I look forward to you helping us spread the word on it and be down on the post.
And that you know of,
Well,
have
I
they
can
mentioned
assure
you're
you.
going to have a picture?
I do. I host a lot of
You know, George Washington, who plays George Washington, who plays here, you know, who this big. And he's also a George Washington scholar, so when he's in costume, he's a character. And he speaks like George Washington. He has all of the memory, the facts, the history.
Oh, yeah, we got to do that.
He's a blast. He really is a blast.
Well, you are a treasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very kind to say so.
I am so excited about it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Next.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, you must be Jeff.
Yes, I am.
No, he's like constant. It's like one after
He's one
another.
after the other. Nice to meet you, Robbie.
Nice to meet you, Jeff. Have a seat. We'll put those on and we kind of go into the cone of silence
Can I
together.
get a photo of the both of you?
Of course.
Lean in and
Yes.
1, 2, and 3. Perfect.
Thank you. Have you got a card, Jeff?
No.
You have a book.
I have a book.
You have a book. That works.
That's his card.
He is waiting on us. Oh, I love that. I love that. We got something to talk about. Okay. Oh, I love the NRB. I love to see who God brings up next. What God's doing in amazing ways, and one after the other. So we're here, 2025 NRB, and the convention floor. And I have in front of me Jeff Odell. And I can completely pronounce Jeff's name. And so Jeff, if you're watching this on YouTube, he wrote the book. He is waiting. Right, and so a lot of scripture out there indicates we're to be waiters. But this is a concept I'd really thought about. He's waiting on us. So Jeff, how did God call you?
No, this is first Christian book. Really, it's about just miraculous, but just telling me about that we are need to pray for the next great revival, and that will usher in the end of the age, and we'll be all set. We'll see what's going to happen. And God is not sure that that's what He said. That's not the way what's going to happen. We need to get God is really best. Not the praying is good, worship is great, fasting, reading the scripture, all good. God is waiting for us to pull ourselves to wrap together and come together as a unified body. And God is, to any church leader, that seems so unattainable. But that's what God is saying to you and us. And I come back to the Hebrews and the Reverence. It is not until they come together, even among the 12 tribes, they came together in unity. That's and say it's the same situation. That is what will bring the end of the age. That is what people are Jews to tell us about, is that when the church, followers of Jesus, followers of Jesus, come together not as some quality covered, but in a unified product that is a set of parts that are cohesive, that they're interconnected, and they're different, that they work together and form one organism, one body.
So, wow, this is intriguing stuff. Trying to decide which way God wants me to go with this. So, the word waiting in Hebrew is kava. You know where the first use of that word is? No, it's okay. It's okay.
But it's interesting.
No. Well, we're going to get to that. Hang on. So the first time you find the word kava in the scripture is in Genesis, when God gathers the waters together to make dry land appear. And there's no waiting involved in that, by the way. It's like, if I'm not mistaken, it was like the third day. It was the third day, right? That he covered the water. It's gathered. And the word is beautifully in the letter Torah. And that letter translates from time and space, and it has to do with the closer you get to God, the holier you get. It begins to work with holiness, which is holiness. So you obviously know what I'm talking about. That's good. And what's really, for me, spectacular is if you add a tav on the front of that word, you get tikav. You know, hope. I find that Ruth says it to Naomi says it to Ruth. That if there's no hope, I'm going to have more children for you to have children. And that, just an amazing connection between the word tikava and the scarlet worm that David will call himself. So, when Isaiah says, those who wait on the Lord, and certainly the word is in Psalm, that yes, it's not a matter of sitting there but twiddling your thumbs going, God's going to do something. But we're actually pushing in to Him. At the same point in time, you couldn't be more right. He's pushing in. Right? You draw close to me. Right? And it couldn't be more true that He is. And we are. It is provocative. And immediately I went, as soon as I told you we'd have something to talk about. We really do. I mean, this whole concept is a study that I really, really. So, are you a doctor?
I'm not. The report was written by
Oh, by Dr. Paul. Oh, by your pastor. You're not a pastor.
I'm an executive. I'm not in the church world. I'm an elder. I'm the student of the Lord. I'm a teacher. I work with the discipleship of Africa, but to history, I'm not to the business world. I'm well known as a business strategist. And what God said, why you said life is I want you to solve this problem of unity. Life is a business problem. And I said, I'm going to do that. And I said, I look at it, I look it up now. This is how business can solve this problem. Your business transformation works more disruptive. As I studied that in the business world, Tesla always disrupted how Amazon disrupted, which is how all of these disruptions happen in the business world. And that's it. Church needs to disrupt itself. Not to get something new and different, but actually for that to the upgrade of the business strategy. And he said, that's
The other one you said you
This is Mary who chose
I'm an engineer. And so I
are you serious? I understand. You may notice I'm
And so I'm writing, I finished this book last year, and I'm writing future transportation. Basically says how
oh, I was amazing. So I have a minute now. Whatever time in Babylon, there was a firm. Have you ever read the book Think Your Broker's Fighting Hurricanes? He is one of the most genius literary tricks I've ever seen in my life. Totally brilliant. He said, inside every chapter of this book, you're going to find a secret to Andrew Carnegie's billion. I had to know that secret. I read that book and read that book and read that book. So I knew that I'd isolated. I know exactly what that is. And what it is the reversal of the personality. And here's the way it's illustrated. Charles Schwab was one of his chiefs of his little empire. And he would keep all these steel mills running at their peak. And he went into the worst producing steel mill they had. And he said, and he came in right at the changing of the shift, like 3 in the morning. Here comes guys are coming out and he goes, hey guys, how many points of steel did you make last night? And they said 7. He took a piece of chalk, he wrote it on the floor, great big number 7, and walked out. So of course the next guy, what's that 7 doing? Oh, the big boss was in here, he wanted to know every place. Yeah. Next thing you know, what happened to that number? They scratched out that 7, it was 8, 9, 10, and within a month that was the number 1 producer of steel plant. He was the first to curse everybody we got on the same. These people that make it really tough. Actually come together and get on the same page. Oh my goodness, we would be such a he is waiting on us by Jeff Odell, and where can we get Amazon, he is waiting on us, Jeff Odell. And we will talk about it. He's going to get this. Didn't mean to go there. I just had to.
No, no,
And you
fascinating.
are on. You are on.
No, but it's interesting. When I speak to pastors, like every pastor, they read it and they say, I'm just really called to take care of my flock. This is not my duty. I'm not
Average.
I'm not being critical.
No. I'm with you.
These are people I love and respect and serve. I'm just saying we could be so much better than we are.
I couldn't agree with you more. I love it. I love everything. I can tell you some of the stories. Thank you, Jess.
Okay, let's talk more.
We will.
All right.
Excuse me, Robbie.
Yes.
Do you have a business card for this gentleman you met with in this meeting?
You met with JP. You interviewed JP DeGance.
He wants a way to get in contact.
He forgot to grab your card.
Bobby, how are you? Do you remember me from last year?
I
We
do.
spent last year.
Wonderful to see you.
Good to see you too. Sounds like you're very busy today, tomorrow.
Always.
I do not.
Yes. Have you got a card or a book or what do you?
This is part of ministry information.
Whichever you want to give.
This is more helpful. So that's probably more helpful.
Transform.
Transform Iran. So you see the Iran hidden in the word?
That's right. And your name is.
Lana Sim. Lana.
I'll put these on. I'll hear you better. Janssen.
Oh, it's the wrong way around. I'm thinking this is not going to work. There we go. Lana Sim.
That's right. Yana, like Yana with the L. Oh, it's so fun. So fun. It's the old friends to be here back in the NRB. This is 2025, and in 2024 I met Lana. And she's with Transform Iran. And I can't imagine who might do that other than her.
Great. Yes, absolutely, Robbie.
But you've got a whole organization that got to that. And so tell us about Transform Iran.
Transform Iran is about transforming Iran through God's power, through His grace. We want to make sure that every person is encountered the love of Jesus and have the opportunity to respond to the gospel of grace and to the light.
And so are you on the ground in Iran?
We are churches across Iran, 50,000 cities. People are producing and turning to the Lord. We have a whole range of digital media to support them in their work, and then also we connect with them, disciple them, capture them very often, and then we do other work to the Lord in churches across the Iran, and the work continues.
So Persia is a completely different, a lot of people, they think of the Middle East, they think of Iran probably in a lot of different ways. But Persians are a bit different than Arabs, right?
Oh yes, it would be like calling an American a Canadian. Take pride in their difference, different language, similar obvious, but even their religion, their Islam is different. Iran is the bastion of Shia Islam, which is quite different to the regular Sunni Islam.
And so I worked with a young man named his name for years, Tony Rahimzadeh.
It sounds like an Iranian name.
Yeah, Rahimzadeh, yeah, and he was very, very proud of their background of what Iran had been in the past and those kind of things. And so, biblically, you guys are front and center.
Absolutely, all the way through the Old Testament and some of the New. Great, rich biblical heritage. It was not done with Iran, right?
And when you really think of it, from my perspective, the most powerful Jewish ruler of all time ever was there. Her name was Esther, right?
That's right. I knew you were going to the Mr. You know, you asked me a little bit. There's also Cyrus, great influencer in the Jewish story and Persian people.
Right, without him, there would have been no second temple, right? All those things happen, and so you yourself, are you from Iran?
I am born and raised in Iran, very proud to be Iranian. I say raised, I was almost 10 when we left Iran, so I've lived most of my life outside of Iran. And, the heart connection, it's there. One day my daughter's very self.
It sounds like you spent some time in England.
I did, yes. Yes, I live in the US now, but I'm told the Americans like a British accent, so I'm keeping it.
I would. And so, yeah, you have this connection with Iran. You said over 50 churches.
That's right.
And so, how do you keep an organization, two churches? That's it. 50 sounds like a challenge.
It is a challenge, but it's grown organically and through the witness of individual lives that have been transformed. Whether it's been the friend that's close to us from the church, and it's not that kind of geopolitical environment that you would do. What's happening today in Iran is Fred has an encounter with the Lord. His life has changed. His whole family sees the fruit of the transformation of his life. Wants to know the Lord. And wants the secret source. What's happened to you? Gets introduced to Jesus, and the church is born. And that's happening up and down the country. So, more than 50 towns and cities where we have a presence, hundreds of churches, all in different ways, meeting and seeking to able to be Christian, to be put together in worship and Lord and Farsi. And they're doing it because they're looking for Jesus. We help them as best we can from that side.
And how do you get word?
Get the word.
Here's this family, they started meeting. You guys somehow or another, maybe that's privileged information, but I'm just curious, how did God obviously created a network of some kind that you're connected to?
Yeah, he does. No, actually, it's very. I'm glad to share it with you. Very often, it's that person's own journey. So that person who gets saved, they will go looking for Christian material to fuel their need. They'll find us. We have satellite TV, radio, social media, app they can download, digital church network. So through all the different means, they can connect to the wider body of Christ outside of the Disciple goes to conference remotely over once a week, and we take it through a program of once a week, yeah. Individually, yes. Well, not hundreds of thousands of people. We call the ones that contact us and say, Jesus connected me, or I've come to tell me.
Right, but they're just discipling these people to some extent.
Yes,
and they feel like they have a friend. And one of the huge things I was just sitting there at marvel that God is offering. As you're listening right now or thinking, about what God is doing, you think about the curse of Babylon, which was a horrible thing because everybody's language has got confused. But the way you're reaching these people is you have something unique that other Christians don't have. You speak their language.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And you know their culture.
Yes,
Right.
there are kinsmen. Yes.
And they recognize that, these people speak English.
That's right.
These people sound like, and then they seem a lot happier than the guy next to you.
Absolutely, but they find friendship, you're right, in community. And then as the churches grow in their community, then they're the tapping into ability, strength, and that. But I'll tell you something else, Rory. We're talking about speaking their language. You know, more than half of the Iranians don't speak Farsi or Persian in their language. There are more than 39 different languages across Iran, different ethnic minorities, real diversity. And the challenge to us now as believers is communicating to each other in our language. We've become, it's been 3, 4, 5 years now that we're buried in the work of Bible translation, Psalmic materials, worship material in the various languages of Iran, so we can speak to each other in their language.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and especially since when you think about it, it's really cool. Because you get one in that dialect, you get one convert that is now able to speak to other converts in the second Corinthians chapter 1. I was comforted here. My old friend, it's not all that different from wherever you are sitting right now. When you speak a language like you happen to be from the back country of Oxford, North Carolina, in Davie County, you know, you speak Davie County. Well, everybody doesn't speak Davie County. And so you have. I can assure you, I can assure you that is very much the case. It's really, really cool to think that God is everybody's important part of the equation. We're talking about right now transform our language. So came to NRB to get a message out to our listeners right.
I would like them to know that his message what we hear from Iran is bloodshed and anger and violence and evil agenda. That exists, but that's the minority and it's the ruling class. The bulk of the Iranians is religion content. So we must be together because Iran is at the center of this turmoil in the Middle East. What is this internal force that country around? When Iran is 14 points more, that story is getting written by the Muslims.
And it's so beautiful, and from my standpoint, it's actually thinking. You know, here is arguably the biggest, the strongest empire of all time, right? Through Syria, you know, through these Persian kings, right? They had 156 provinces. When you think about the size, that's just like 200 countries or something like that in the world right now. They had control over 156 of them. If you read the Esther carefully, you can see something very unique about that culture at the time. They had religious freedom. They were literally catering to the Jews in certain ways in that time. And you know, obviously, it was a time for flourishing for a lot of folks that God allowed for that time as preparing for the way for Jesus to come, right? And so even now, like we get to take part in whatever it is you pray for Transform Iran, it's you and that's to transform Iran. God is, He's hard at work with these people that have potential that's out there. And I love it. I love what you're doing. And again, tell our listeners how they can reach you guys. What's the website?
Yes, it's transformed. There's lots of material on there in terms of testimonies, encouraging, also today to work. There's a newsletter you can sign up to the page. It's a email. Ministry development, testimonies, it's great. It's great to create an area with ministry. It's exciting, that's fun, because you get to see what God is doing. So if we want to partner with what God is doing in one of the most influential right now force for evil in the world, let's partner together and change the story of what is doing.
Thank you so much. It's so amazing. Really,
Always a pleasure, Robin.
Yeah, same here. Thank you.
Appreciate it very much.
You have a great convention. God bless you.
Thank you. You too. I'm running off to the next one.
Amen.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
Your next one's supposed to be Gary Wilkerson. They said they're on their way.
All right.
Oh, they're right there. Right there. Oh, there you are.
You're
Okay.
whatever.
Oh, that's okay.
Hi, I'm Derek. I'm sorry, got your hands full. It's a pleasure to meet you, Colleen. I'm Derek.
Probably months ago. Nice to meet you in person.
He helped us get this organized.
Oh,
Yeah,
wonderful.
I'm a big fan.
And Mike Carbone, our CEO, said he was going to come out. He told me to tell him when he was
Yes, he
coming.
went with Michael.
So I told him, and it's on the schedule, so he might be coming back.
Okay.
So we'll see. And there you go. Robbie, go ahead. Robbie, you're
You have a famous last name.
I'm Derek Wilson. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to
Good to see you.
Have you got a card or something along with
I've given them all away today. I didn't expect to be quite.
How about a brochure or something on your organization?
Brochure and cards or anything like that.
If you have one, I'll make sure that they get it at the office.
I do.
She'll reach out back to you, give our information. It's called World Challenge. WorldChallenge.org is our.
Yeah, all right. Should be here too.
Well, we'll make it out.
Am I putting this one on? Okay.
World Challenge.
It was originally, can you hear me on this?
I hear you.
It was originally to Teen Challenge, drug rehab program, and then it expanded beyond that.
That's what I said. You have a very famous last name. Are you related?
Yeah, Dave was my dad.
Really?
He passed away 11 years ago. I don't know if I can hear you through this.
Can you not hear me?
I think through.
You're hearing it, but not through the buttons. Let me turn myself there. Wow.
I can hear you better now. I have a little bit of a hearing problem. It probably was fine. It just, I got hearing aids in. And it's about a year. I've had these hearing aids for about a year yet.
And so it's not Team Challenge, it's going to be the name.
World
Challenge.
World Challenge.
This is
And Christian Card guy. You familiar with Barry McGuire?
of course,
Yeah,
yes.
Barry's the chairman of the board for World Challenge.
Is he really?
Yeah, he'll be here later today. He just texted me. Said
I've interviewed him probably.
he's going to interview this time.
I'm sure he's on the list. I don't
You
know.
don't know.
I have quite a connection with the Team Challenge, Lifelong Challenge. I know we have some friends. I went, I'm trying to think of John's last name. He has the North Carolina Boys Academy out in Hickory, North
I
Carolina.
know who you're talking about.
His name is John. Anyway, he goes to Jamaica about
I don't do this. I work actually at a local radio station, and I'm
But
helping
you guys
facilitate this.
with alcoholics and stuff. Really fun.
It's a needy area. Jamaica is. A lot of
Super
the
Bowl
problems,
stuff. They also
violence.
they have the two shows, the Super Bowl and they do the
Here we go. So, what an honor it is. I mean, really it is. To be sitting with Gary Wilkerson. That's a pretty famous last name. We did already about that. His dad was Dave. Just an unbelievable opportunity. But now, we're talking, you've heard of the Team Challenge, many of you have. Now we're talking about World Challenge. And so Gary, God has given you a little bit different take on it. Challenging, and so what is World Challenge?
The DNA of my father David was still in this industry, still in place. He went to New York City to work at a bunch of drug addicts. And so you can't most people said it was impossible to reach them. So my father said it was impossible to reach them. It's totally possible to God. I'm not going to prove it. So he would do it. It's still in the DNA of World Challenge. So it was originally a Team Challenge, and that's the reason it's getting the World Challenge was started also with expanded ministry, his preaching ministry, his writing ministry, and now I've taken that over. About 12 years ago, I'm preaching, teaching, writing, and more so, really, my heart is really another aspect of started giving to the ministry. We needed a different salaries and staff, so we said, let's give it to the neediest people who need it. Of course, we started looking at churches, clinics, caring for the hungry, feeding programs. And then, so the last thing that we do is we saw 8,000 people this last year in Muslim, Hindu, unreached groups, 77 different people groups. And one tribe had 0 Christians, and now they have 80 churches. So imagine the whole churches, small part of it.
And he really is. And he really cares deeply about all these things. He's very fascinated with this. I went to Jamaica in King Challenge myself, and they took us to an orphanage there. I don't know if you've ever been. It was just for special needs youngsters. And essentially what goes on there, unfortunately, in Jamaica, based on voodoo and other shenanigans here, believe that if a child is born with autism or Down syndrome or anything like that, they literally take them and they put them on the earth to die. Because they think it's unbelievable. So this orphanage there, which is a Catholic orphanage, they go around the streets of the capital city. I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember, but it's right. It's there in Jamaica. But anyway, and they go up and down the streets looking for these children, and they pick them up off the street, and then they feed them, and they bathe them, and they clothe them, and they take care of them until they actually kind of help them learn how to take care of themselves and farm and all those kind of things. And they have farms all over Jamaica with these folks. And I've never ever forgotten that. Like, God, you knew those kids were feeding and then I go to the street. So you see that stuff.
Yeah, so it started with my wife and I back in the urban walking down the Western European nations. We happened to be in Romania. We walked into the hospital and had a room with about 20 orphans. The head doctor told us these kids were sick. Some of them can't walk, not because they have deformities, but because they've never been able to have a staff. And so the Holy Spirit just came over and said, if I tell you to pray for these kids, would you give them to us? There's no government going to take that time. I said, absolutely. I went back to New York City, called some friends. 2 nurses said they quit their jobs, moved to Romania, we bought a house, went to that doctor's door, said, hey, we're here, we got a home. Watched 20 kids, wheelchairs, rooms.
Unfortunately, I didn't tell you about that story.
Sorry?
I did not tell you about that story.
What's that?
So probably 150 kids. Most of them were in cribs. Some of them in their late teens. You know why they were there? Nobody ever told you about that. They were in this situation. That's happened. And they literally hosed down. They didn't let him die. But yet here's the horrific facts that God here's the shit. So I can't help but to see you saw that and God put it on the heart and you went and it became world challenge. And so now as a result, right, all these people are absolutely walking and talking.
Yeah, I would never, as a leader, it's really cool challenge. I would never stand for caring for them. We support orphanages and small orphanages. I would never, it'd be like operating a hotel and allowing it to be separated and dirty and unclean rooms. As a manager, I want it to be spotless. The same with our care for widows and orphans. We don't want to just be able to care and feed and streets. Holy Spirit to me, speak to me about treat these kids like you would your own children. Don't you want them to care for something that happened in their life? It's like we want them to be fed, we want them to be fed, we want them to have a great education. Most of all, we want them to know Jesus and His love for them. So we speak of excellence. It's not just orphanages or throwing some food and some other people. It's actually showing the love of Jesus with the greatest excellence you possibly could, giving to others, so it's been a great journey. We're in about 7 different nations. Seeing all this good.
It really is, because it's one of those things that's just because I think we're talking special needs. And at the Baptist Church here in Winston, we have a pretty big class for years and years. And seeing what happens when people are caring for them, they have to leave. And so we came to the NRB to share a message with our listeners. What would you want our listeners to know about rural children?
I would say every Christian I've ever met in my life wants to help, just like Jesus' brother James. Who knew Jesus since he was a little boy. And said, what can I say about my brother? He said, here's pure religion, an undefiled religion, helping. So like I said, every Christian I've ever met wants to help. Sometimes they don't know how. They have 50 different organizations trying to get the door down to get them to get $10 a month or $30 a month. And so my vision is not just to care for the little orphan, the unreached people, but to connect the church of the West, to awaken to the needs of the local community. When I turn on the news tonight, we're going to hear about Donald Trump and Congress and the border. We're not going to hear about right now. I got a call a couple days ago. Very dear workers in a country called Burundi, living in poverty, helping orphans, helping widows, helping rich families, big groups of soldiers from the Democratic Republic of Congo coming across the border. So they called our office and said, friends, we're surrounded right now, 360 degrees, by troops that are heading into the border city. We may not be allowed to do that. You'll never hear about that on the news. The American culture is very centered on its own. So we want to bring the world's attention to the world's crisis. If you remember when Jesus was giving his last discourse, he said, the wars, rumors of wars, famines, and earthquakes. But the word that gets oftentimes forgotten is when he says, these things aren't going to be make you fear or run out of life. These things will be an opportunity for your testimony. So every time there's a war like in Sudan, we want to be there. It's going to be what Jesus said. It's an opportunity for Jesus.
Yeah, that's good. Right, that's good. That much people that might
Darkness, yeah.
That's so amazing. Again, world challenge. Like I've known about Team Challenge, but I was not a real man. So honored to know that God's here's those cries and he's out there doing stuff that's so excellent. People end up being all about it.
Thank you. Great work. From the spirit, I love your smile and your heart and the fact that you get this gospel communicated around the world as well. Bless us now. So thank you.
Thank you. Wow. So, if you know John, and you're, obviously they're still part of the Team Challenge, he knows that orphanage every year. And he served there every year.
I know about the work he was doing in the U.S., but I didn't know
I was going to bring before COVID, I was going to take my Sunday school. I'm a pastor now, so I'm not as affiliated as I was with that. I wanted to take my Sunday school over there and minister to those people so that they could see, look, they're just like me, but they can walk and talk and all that stuff because it just broke my heart.
Well, it sounds like it changed your life when you were there. You bring your Sunday school class, they're going to be different forever.
It just blows me away.
Well, I'm honored to meet you.
Same here.
What's your church name?
It's called Kilde, Kilde Church, Liberty Church in Ramsey, North Carolina.
Good. Well, you're busy, radio, and
Oh yeah, God's just like you, my friend.
it's an honor to meet you.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks for having me on.
Did we ever get the internet?
Yes, they came in, they fixed it.
It is fixed. Okay.
But it has to be.
We have to run a test then.
Yeah, they don't want it to run through the router. It's got to run straight here.
Hello.
James, good to see you again.
Good to see you, sir.
All right, this is my latest book here, Salvation of the Soul. We did one in the summer on Daniel.
That's right. We did.
Last year we did another book on Daniel. So we've done several together.
Oh, I'm so glad.
So is this the right one?
They all work. They all work. All right.
Is this in the right place?
Oh yeah, I hear you great. Can you hear me? I'm hearing it.
I hear you outside. I mean, I can hear you.
Do me a favor, just relax a little bit. It's real. Yeah, you got to swing that. Can you hear me on that? Oh yeah, you sound great. Good. We're doing something with that. Good, I can turn that down. All right. Say the other one. That's Gary Wilkerson. That's David Wilkerson. Pretty exciting. Yeah, just a neat guy. Oh, he was. God, I just wanted to know how to miraculous ways using his son. So that's yeah. So here we are, NRB 2025 on the convention floor. I've got an old friend, James Harmon, with us. He's got a new book. We're excited to hear about it. It's really cool to see how God continues to give you stuff to write on. So what's the new one here, James?
Yeah, I wrote them that one. Yeah. The big tool of that is visionary of an operator. You have to have both. I could never do that. So that's good tonight. We're going to teach out. We're going to take part in our lives too. And I was helping North Carolina, the women's team challenge. And so just the continues to grow It's also on the board of this ministry, so they came this year to join us here. Both them as well. But it's in the Sudan. It's a tough project. Yeah, tomorrow we're speaking of it. It's a tough project. It's a real one thing. It's obviously the tool around there. So it's very good. Make sure to make sure he was supported.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
And so, as you were discussing that idea, I couldn't help but think about so many hours I've spending here. Because again, it's one of the Beatitudes, one of David's Beatitudes. It starts out with the whole idea of this. What it is, there's no perfection except Christ. And so, how are you going to get that? Blessed are the undefiled. Just as you just described, is you have Jesus. But then, as you also mentioned, you still have this idea that you're going to walk in the law of the Lord. I love this. Said about him. He had a conversation. Study that. You had an opportunity to share that day, and you studied it, and based on life experience, and all of a sudden that began to form out into good.
Yes, you're right. So you'll be interviewing your problem. So just,
The title of this book is Salvation in the Soul by James White. It begs the question, because about spirit, soul, body. So what's different between salvation of, say, the spirit versus salvation of the I think we always run out of time before we run out of show, James. But thank you. Again, the book, you can get it on Amazon. He's got a whole, let's go to Amazon and look at the author page, right? Under James. Prophecy Countdown, little one, you're going to find all this. The latest one included a lot of cool stuff from his wife, Salvation of the Soul. James T.
I know.
Thank you, James. Yeah, they go by fast. It's 10. It's 10 minutes, but you did great.
No, that was
You really
You
did.
always do a good job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Steve says he's losing his voice.
So we actually built that in.
Are you good to connect? Should we run a test?
Thank you.
Yeah, we should.
I think there's a break in between
Yes, bonus next, and then there's a break.
And then there's a break. So you'll have
She is
time-
your last one before 3.
So we'll have time to test. I'll let Carmen know that you'll be running the test about 10 to.
Okay?
Good? Yes. All right, thank you.
How are you?
Good. Good. Have a seat.
Hi, Robbie. Nice to meet you. Appreciate all you do. Absolutely.
Yes, it is. I love your name, Mona. I don't think I've ever met her.
What time do you think you would want us on to place it?
My understanding is that we got Dr. Shaw. It's at 3:30, and then we make switch to light speed by having.
After 3:30.
All right, if you put those on, those are working better than the other set. Yeah. Let me save this one.
So now I've switched to still okay. I think she's been on top for a long time.
Rosie?
Yes.
Bent and heavy more. Break free I like it. Welcome. It's so fun to be on the floor here with this broadcasters convention. 5 would be amazing. Yeah, from somebody on that line. How exciting. And so, it's Mel. Rosine. I'm going to get out to look at Rosine. See Mona. She says she's one woman's tenacious to experience a relationship with God. And so that hits their places.
Yeah, each chapter does a story
And so, part of your experience with God is obviously He put on your heart, right?
And I was and then also many of
Beautiful. So, how about that? I'm thinking the first job. I think perfect love craps out of fear. Because that fear has to do with punishment. And so tell me about that lie. What was that lie in your life practically? How did you of all places? Not a lot of people grew up in the town. I'm from Idaho. So yeah.
It is, sir. I mean, yeah, it is. You super look at it. Wow. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Have you ever heard of John Lennon? He does an amazing thing. It's called the Truth Face. It's on YouTube. And he calls it the Santa Claus is coming to town mentality. He's making a list. Yes, you were. And if you don't, no, you're not calling. It's coming to town. It's legal. And it's a good thing. As I listen to that, then all of a sudden, you have this relationship with God. How did he point out? Like, Mara, that's a lie. Oh, Mona, I'm sorry. Mona, that's a lie. How did you? It's that in itself. I hope you all caught what I just caught. She was funny. She hear my voice, and so she heard. That's how, and she had a conversation. That was experiencing God. Like she pushed me back. And to me, that's the part a lot of people. This is
I was able to understand some. He's been sweet.
I don't mean to lose my audience. But interestingly, the word pharaoh, you may know this, it's connected to your neck. And it's a gateway. Like between your heart and your head, you may have heard this, as long as 18-inch journey, they'll find a woman connected to you. And so you have these wonderful experiences coming out of your heart and trying to get to your head. And Pharaoh's in there going, I can't get it. Right? Interestingly, and the idea of hell bent, right? You can think your way into hell pretty easily. But a beautiful thing is everything can be and my guess is what helped you get how it is. Oh, wonderful. I lived in Denver. I lived in London. Again, the book is called Hellbent and Heaven. I like the way you act. Hellbent and break free from lies and live loved. Again, it's written by Mona Rosie. And it's find it much more fun to do that. That's awesome. It really is. Great job. And I'd love to have you on. I have a show called King of Suits. It's live. I would love to have you on that show. Is it all right if I keep wonderful.
Let me grab a card for you.